It's getting harder and harder to resist the draw of full electric vehicles. Most of them seem to be SUVs these days, but here's a zero-emission supermini, the updated version of Peugeot's E-208. It now looks snappier, and top versions gain the option of extra power and a larger battery, offering a longer 248 miles between charges. An E-208 has no practicality downsides over the combustion-engined version and comes with monthly payment finance you could justify. What's not to like? In the future, all small cars will need to be developed on platforms that can support full electric as well as conventional thermic propulsion. Surprisingly, few still currently are, but the Peugeot 208 is an exception. The brand wants you to pick a powertrain for this model, conventional petrol, hybrid or electric, in the same way that you'd select a trim option. And it's the improved version of the battery-powered variant, the E-208, that we look at here. First launched in 2019, the E-208 shares all the same engineering we've already also seen in the Stellantis Group's two other small car battery-powered products, the Vauxhall Corsa Electric and the DS3 E-Tense, a pair of designs that share this Peugeot's sophisticated CMP, Common Modular Platform. And those same underpinnings allow for a new generation of big car-style camera safety systems. It all sounds quite promising. Here we're looking at the mid-term facelift applied to this car, announced in summer 2023. There's the option of an upgraded EV powertrain and you get smarter looks across the range. Plenty to talk about. The big news with this improved E-208 is the availability of a new, slightly larger capacity 51 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery, 48.1 kilowatt-hour of which is usable, which offers 248 miles of EV driving range and is mated to a new 156 horsepower electric motor. From the launch of this updated model though, most of the range was still built around the original model's older tech drivetrain, which sees a 50 kilowatt-hour battery matched to a 136 horsepower electric motor, offering a range of up to 225 miles. Like all electric vehicles, this one develops all of its torque at once. There's 260 Newton meters of it, and this car simply hurls itself away from rest. It takes just a couple of seconds to crest the 30 mile an hour mark, and 62 miles an hour is reached in a fraction over 8 seconds, disguising the fact that, also like all EVs, this zero emissions variant has a bit of a weight problem. That drivetrain adds over 300 kilograms of bulk. Whichever variant you select, all of this might represent a brave new world for forward-thinking supermini buyers looking to make the still rather expensive switch into all-electric motoring. It seems like only yesterday, after all, that a fully charged small EV could only manage around half of the kind of range you get from this one. Of course, you certainly won't achieve anything like that kind of operating capability if you get anywhere near this EV's quoted 93 mile an hour top speed, or if you habitually drive your E-208 in the sports setting that'll be necessary to release full power, the outputs that I just mentioned. The quoted range figures will only be distantly possible if you instead engage a somewhat restrictive eco mode that drops power output right down to 83 brake horsepower. That's the setting you'll use in an E-208 around town, an environment in which it makes a strange polyphonic sound at low speeds to warn unwary pedestrians of its impending approach. Above 18 miles an hour, all you can hear is a bit of tyre roar from the eco-moulded Michelin rubber. The changes made to the facelifted version of this E-208 aren't major, but they do bring the look of this supermini into line with latest versions of the 2008 and 508. In profile, bespoke E-monogram badging on this squared-off C-pillar identifies this electrified model. Wheel sizes are either 16 inches or, as in this case, 17 inches for the Allure version and this GT series model. The GT also features glossy black wheel arch flares which streamline the body, making the wheel diameter appear larger. It also gets this glossy black roof. At the front, this revised E-208 design is identified by a bolder version of the car's distinctive three-fang daytime running light signature, along with a broader front grille, which, as before, is large and intricately detailed with triple white LED headlights. At the back, the tail lamp bar of this revised model has been changed with a trio of red claws extending the width of the tailgate. Inside, not too much has changed. As before, this interior has a very futuristic feel and one of very high perceived quality, thanks to this two-tier fascia layout with its smart concave inner section that curls around the edge of the dashboard and on into the doors. As usual with the brand, the front of this cabin champions Peugeot's unique so-called iCockpit format, where you view the instrument binnacle over the upper rim of a tiny steering wheel rather than conventionally through the wheel spokes. On this top spec variant, the concept's been further developed with the addition of this 3D instrument binnacle display. Now this sees critical information like speed and navigational instructions projected in hologram form from the inner roof of the binnacle onto a piece of slanted perspex in the foreground. Other secondary stuff features on a screen set further back, and a button on the left of the steering wheel allows you to differently format the whole setup according to your particular preference. More media technology sits to your left in the form of the usual centre dash touchscreen, now standardised right across the range in its largest 10-inch form. That's what we've got here, of course. The monitor includes plenty of functions, too many in fact, because you have to use this display to operate all of the climate features, which means switching out of whatever you're looking at every time you want to change the temperature or alter the fan speed. At least these 7 stylized piano keys below this monitor look rather nice, positioned in front of a row of touch-sensitive shortcut buttons just behind. The seats, well, they're reasonably comfortable. There's not much wrong with the ergonomics of the whole cabin. There's a reasonable amount of interior storage space, and there are plenty of media connectivity points. Plus, on most models, you get a wireless charging mat too, with its own neat lidded compartment. Rear passenger space is slightly compromised by the need to place the powertrain's battery pack beneath that rear seat. Knee room is about what you'd expect from a modern supermini, and headroom is okay too. Overall, larger adults probably wouldn't want to be spending too long here, but does that matter, given that for the majority of customers these rear seats will be used only occasionally for those above school age? Well, only you can decide. The headrests are of the kind that uncomfortably dig into your back until you raise them, but there are decently sized door bins, quite nice beady overhead reading lights, and you get a couple of USB-C ports above this rather high central transmission tunnel, plus seat back pockets. But there's no compromise in boot space, which is 311 litres in size, just like any other 208. As usual in this class, there's no seat folding cleverness, stuff like adjustable seat backs for awkwardly shaped loads, a ski hatch or a 40-20-40 rear bench split. You'd think supermini designers might be building that kind of stuff in by now. So instead, there's just a straightforward 60-40 rear bench split, which once retracted reveals 1,106 litres of capacity when you load to the roof. From the launch of this revised model, the E-208 range was primarily based around the older 50 kWh 136 powertrain. At the time of this test, the newer 51 kilowatt-hour 156 power pack was only available with this top GT level of trim and at an £800 premium, which took the price of this test car to nearly £33,000 at the time of this test in summer 2024. As we filmed, E-208 pricing started from around £28,000. A 10-inch central infotainment screen is now standard across the range with built-in Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless smartphone mirroring. Allure and GT models now come as standard with the brand's Peugeot iConnect package, with the option to upgrade to iConnect Advanced, and that features live TomTom navigation and natural voice recognition. Allure spec gets you 16-inch Noma diamond cut alloy wheels, upgraded to these 17-inch Yanaka diamond cut two-tone alloy rims on GT versions. This GT variant also gets a 3D instrument screen, dynamic ambient lighting, and upholstery trimmed in black Alcantara with adamite green stitching. Customers will choose between 7 body colours, 2 of which are freshly added to the range. Agueda Yellow, and that's actually what we've got here, and Selenium Grey. The other colours are Cumulus Grey, Nera Black, Bianca White, Elixir Red and Vertigo Blue. All E-208 models feature gloss black door mirrors irrespective of the colour chosen, and the GT variants come as standard with gloss black wheel arches and this gloss black roof. As you'd expect, a wide range of different driver assist and safety technologies are available with this revised model. Take the adaptive cruise control system that you can have on this car, which can make the car automatically stop and go in heavy traffic, starting off again once the traffic in front of you moves ahead. Lane departure warning, auto parking and blind spot monitoring systems are available too. Peugeot's aim was for this EV to have a total ownership cost roughly equivalent to what you pay to buy and run an automatic version of the petrol model. Well, it's some way off that right at present. Its drivetrain claims to be state-of-the-art for a small car, though the 51 kilowatt-hour model's WLTP certified range of 248 miles still isn't quite class-leading. The version with the older 50 kilowatt-hour powertrain manages up to 225 miles of range, though with GT spec that falls to just 218 miles. Bear in mind that, as with all EVs, the quoted range figure will drop considerably in winter weather or over long motorway journeys. In the case of the 51 kilowatt-hour E-208 to around 175 miles. If you're an E-208 owner, you'll need to know that getting anywhere near the quoted range figure will necessitate staying in the powertrain's provided eco mode. Activating its sport mode setting will reduce your range by around 10%. A 7.4 kilowatt single phase charger is supplied as standard on all E-208s, while a 3-phase 11 kilowatt charger is available as an option. A 20 to 80% charge is estimated to take less than 25 minutes when using a 100 kilowatt rapid charger, extending to 4 hours and 40 minutes when using a 7.4 kilowatt charger. At the other extreme, if you happen to be somewhere where you can only charge from a domestic supply using an ordinary 3-pin plug and the optional 3-pin plug lead that costs extra with this car, the charging replenishment time would be a yawning 20 hours. As an E-208 buyer, your dealer will also give you the option to pay a subscription for a so-called mobility pass. That'll enable you to borrow a conventional petrol or diesel-powered car from the brand for those times when you might need to undertake a longer or more complex journey, holiday times for instance. So how successful has Peugeot been with this improved E-208 in terms of what it describes as unboring the future? Well, we think you'll be impressed. Other sector competitors can go a little further on a single charge, but we think that this model's improved operating range will now be quite sufficient for the average family's needs. There may be a few Supermini buyers who don't like the cabin layout or want something better suited to cornering on its door handles, or who might prefer a premium brand, but we're guessing they'll be in the minority. Most will recognise that in this E-208, Peugeot has delivered an EV Supermini you could really bond with. Glug, 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 plug. Bring it on.